welcome to Watercolor Studio 42. And, you know, sometimes you do a lot of subjects, you know, like seascapes, landscapes, cityscapes, and that type of thing, floral painting. And a lot of times I'll say to myself, well, I mean, what are some of the things around me, you know, really? And a lot of times what you think about, when you think of sometimes kind of things that get piled up around the house, kitchen table type thing, all the mail keeps coming in, and if you don't sort through the mail, pretty soon by the end of the week you got a big pile. I was thinking of titles, and one of the titles might be trash, another title might be like junk and so forth. But sometimes when you open the drawers and you see all this stuff, I sort of settled on the word clutter. So this could be clutter. Now, the clutter that I have would be a lot of art stuff, you know, down cellar, this and that, paper, all that sort of material, you know, paint, paper, frames, glass, you know, that you'd put in the frames, etc. So I do have a lot of clutter, so I call it art clutter. Now, I just kind of spread this out. You can kind of take a look at what I've done on this piece of paper here, and all of this is clutter. I mean, but it's all relative to one particular subject. It's clutter that you use in art. You got tape, rulers, paintbrushes, and so forth, palette, tubes of paint, you name it. So now, you can arrange the clutter if you want. Now, if I want to move these pieces and parts around. Now, a lot of times when you look at clutter, though, it can be just a drawer that you open up. And I know I've got a clutter drawer, probably two, I can think of 2 or 3 that I have clutter in at home. And especially downstairs with all my art stuff, clutter of just about everything. So when you stop and think about it, you know, you've got a lot of things out there. And this is just clutter just out of my bag that I brought with me today. It was my art supplies. You know, I just took some of these things and just put them onto a piece of paper. Now you can, if you so desire, you can make this arrangement. You know, you can place things around. If you don't want too many diagonal lines, you can move the objects around. You've got 3 circles, so you've repeated that shape. You could consider rectangular shapes. The ruler basically is rectangle. And then you've got the several circles, with your palette being a circle. And then you've got this little container that I keep some of my erasers and pieces of plastic in for some of the scrapings I do. Well, anyways, so you've got all of this that you can rearrange, and then look at that clutter and paint a picture of it, you know, or draw it first, okay? So I'm just going to move this over here, and it doesn't matter if I kind of loosen the clutter up a little bit. I got a lot of things running in one way, so I might change it. Let's add another piece of clutter. We'll put the little box in there, I'll put it over here. But all of that would be sort of classified as art clutter. So that, you've already got a title to your painting, haven't you? When you think about it, you've already got this clutter. So that's a theme word today, clutter. Okay. Now, here's another thing too. You can take a photograph of some of this material, this clutter that you have in drawers, and you can also go outside and you can find a lot of clutter of leaves and branches and whatever on the ground, and you can move your camera around, click some pictures, so forth. Most everybody has a camera now with their, you know, their cell phones. There's a camera So, and believe it or not, I've taken pictures and had them developed, you know, at the probably the drugstore, pharmacy rather, and you can get some pretty good photographs from even your just the camera that you have in your cell phones. So, anyways, we have the idea of clutter. Now, I can draw this. I usually do this freehand first with a pencil, and I kind of sketch it light. Whether I'm inspired by that here or what comes into my head, you know, I'll be moving the pencil around. Now, a lot of times you could keep the pencil on the paper. Don't lift it off the paper. And that's not a bad idea, because sometimes if you're lifting the pencil off the paper, you're not kind of connecting all the lines, you know, the shapes together. So I'm going to try to do this and kind of at random use some of these objects that I've got out on the table here as my subject for the clutter. Okay, so here we go. At random, wherever you want to start. I usually start from a corner somewhere. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind. When you look at anything, you want to look at the negative space too, the space in between all the objects and things. That makes your picture kind of interesting in that respect. You know, the negative space with the positive, the background that ties in with the subject area, okay? So you have to keep that in mind. And sometimes your drawings rather don't have to be that accurate. You can kind of jump around a little bit. So here we go. I'm just going to go at random. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to start in with the pencil. And I'm just going to kind of move around at random. You can make little circles. You can go around like this with the palette. You know, do some things with that. Then go back out here. You can touch the edge, come back in, and draw some of the objects there. Here we go. You can look at what you're doing too and see where you might want to break it up. Let's move around. Let's see, I'm sort of stuck over here. I can bounce off the edge, come back down, and then go up into here. How's that? Maybe I can sneak a paintbrush into that area there somehow. Let's go across here. Let's make another loop here. Come down again. And you can make an interesting design out of this while you're at it. How much you want to do, how much detail. I like that negative shape right in through here. That's kind of interesting. So I may just leave that shape, like this. Go to the edge again. Then you can bounce back in if you want. If you want to break that up a little bit, you can come up here. That's kind of a large shape. I can get over there. I'm going to go across here and just break that up. I'm at a point now, I'm almost ready that I should stop, okay? I probably should stop somewhere here so I don't have too many shapes that I have to fill in. Okay, oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Like a little crisscross in there. I am going to stop right there, okay? So here we have this clutter. My clutter today here. Now, to make it a little easier to work with, I'm just going to go over those pencil lines I have with a marker. So let's see if I can. I'm not going to probably be able to stay on the same direction that I was traveling in at first, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to close that in a little bit. That's not what it was. Now, if I can stay on this as much as I can on my pencil drawing, might make it a little bit interesting. Okay, I'm going to go across here, pick that up. Let's see where we can go now. Oh boy. I guess I'm going to cut across here, close that in, go over here. Now, what happens a lot of times when you're drawing over these lines, you see where you can go in a different direction with it. but I'm going to try to stay with it as much as I can. What I did with the pencil. Here we go. Loop around, little few loops in here. Try to stay as loose as you can with it. Okay, we'll go back out here. Go across over here, come up here. Okay, I want to loop around. Let's come back up here. Go to the edge. Now I can start out from another edge here. Fill that in. Let's go up here now. Over here. Whoops, that's that. Okay, we'll start here. Pick this up. Go up here. Jump that. Go out to the edge. Bounce back in here. Carry that around. Now what's going to happen here, your marker, your lines that you're doing with the marker may stay there, they'll show up. But some of the pencil marks may not. They may not stay there. You have a lot of fun with this thing. Okay, close that off. Let's finish, I don't know. We'll finish that off. Bring that out to the edge there. Okay. Where are we? Let's finish some of these. Close some of this in. Come down here. Bring that back. It's almost on the same line. Here we go. Something like that. Do we have everything covered? Close. That can actually close that off. Go to the edge also. Come back in over here, bring that across it over there. Did I miss anything? Yep, right in there. I think that I pretty much covered just all of my pencil marks here. Okay, now you can erase some of the pencil marks if you so desire. Now, just want to turn this around. I want to look at it from different angles because I might want to take, like this looks like a large shape through here. You can break that up. Just put something like that coming in from the outside. If I don't like this corner, I want to make it a little bit different. Why not break it up here? See that? This can be broken up. See what else? This actually could go to the edge. I'm not quite sure. That's kind of a big shape there, so let's break that up, bring that out, and turn it around. So, now, interesting. All right. I kind of went over or off the line a little bit, but we'll figure that out. Let's see what we can do. I probably could slice that in there a little bit, and that could be filled in here. Okay, I think I'm pretty well all set on the marker. Okay, now. Then you have to decide on the color. And I said today, I might consider just using the primary colors, your yellow, a blue, and a red. Now, if you want to mix any of those colors together, of course, I could mix a yellow with blue, get a green if I so desire. Or if I want to use yellow and red, I can get orange. And if I want to go across with the red to blue, I can get sort of a purplish color. So that's how that might work out today. But we'll see what we can do. Now, probably the safest bet today would be to start off and use yellow, okay? So let's see if I can find a brush. I usually use a bigger brush. And we'll start with doing the areas that we're gonna probably use for yellow. Okay, now I could start in one corner, whatever, and we'll see if we can fill it in a little bit. We'll fill this corner in yellow. Now, if you go over the line a little bit, you know, it really probably doesn't matter an awful lot. I know in the coloring book they get all excited if you don't stay inside the lines, but you could sometimes go over the line and it won't hurt that much. Okay, we got yellow there. Let's see what else could be yellow. I'm gonna move around here. I always kind of work my colors like sort of like triangular. For example, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You know, a triangle. So I'm just going to see if I could work maybe yellow here, with yellow, and then a third yellow. A third yellow might be somewhere in here. Let's fill in this area with yellow. Okay, we just fill that in. Okay, so now you're working off that triangle sort of, and then we still want to use yellow somewhere else. So let's do this shape here. We'll fill this in. This is going to be yellow. Okay, now triangle, maybe here. Let's hide some of that pencil. This is going to be a sort of a funny shape here. This is really kind of a real oddball shape here. Okay. Now sometimes these shapes might turn out looking like a bottle shape or some other object, maybe a guitar shape or whatever. We'll fill that in. And up here, we'll call that the neck. It looks like a bottle shape in there. Okay, so now we're working off of triangles, right? So now let's start over here with a triangle. We got that 1. Let's go right in here with 2. Okay, fill that in. Now, I never know how this is going to turn out. And what I don't like to do is paint myself into a corner. So that's why I'm jumping around. You notice that a little bit more? Now, let's do 1, 2, another triangle. How about this shape here? Sort of like a little rectangle in here. It's not quite a square. We'll fill this in, okay, right in here. Okay, something like that. So now, we're looking at this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Why not make this one up here 3, right? Well, yeah, that's okay. So you can kind of stagger this a little bit different ways. Kind of fill that in. Okay, that can be 3. Let's get a little bit more water on the brush so it slides you a little bit easier in there to fill the color in. Okay, you got that area there. So you got 1, 2, 3 this way. You got 1, 2, 3. Let's see. I suppose we could get away with yellow over here too. Let's fill this shape in with yellow. Okay, that's that. A little bit more water on the brush here. Spread that color around. There we go, like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got, see how I break this up, you know, kind of dance around a little bit. I don't know if I want to put, let's put, no, too close. Here we go, we'll fill this in. All right. Now, I can do something a little bit different here. What I can do here, I could, yellow. Yeah, I got three. I got threes working everywhere, all these angles. I'm just wondering, actually that could touch the edge there too. I could do that. What I'm trying to avoid is too many shapes that are kind of too large and too awkward. So let's see what we got here. We'll give it a rest. I think we got enough yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm always thinking of uneven numbers for everything. Let's try a little bit of red now. Okay. We'll put a little bit of red in there. All right. Now we can look at this the same way. We can jump around and try to make triangles, of the red. So I started up there, didn't I? Why don't we start out of this corner? Fill this in with some red. I don't mind if I go under the tape here because we're going to take the tape off before we finish up. Okay, if that looks kind of awkward, I'm just going to fill that in. Clean that up a little bit there. Okay, red. Again, we're thinking of that, that uneven number, and also the idea of using the idea of the triangle with a color. I suppose this shape here that's a big shape. My gosh, I'm going to break that one up. That's a big. Maybe put something in there to separate that. Now, we'll go over here. We'll do this one red. Okay. Now some of these areas, you can sometimes fill in with if you're not sure what color to use, just fill it in with the marker. Fill it in with the dark marker. Okay, here we go. And you can catch this little loop in here. Looks like almost a heart shape in here. Fill that in. All right. Let me touch that up. Yeah, got that pretty well filled in. Now you can kind of touch up a little bit with some of the paint if you want. Sometimes we purposely leave some areas lighter. Now, I'm just going to fill this shape in here. That's an awful big shape in there, too. So, let's just close this off somewhere in here like that. Yeah. So, that will reduce this shape down a little bit. Before it was going way up around the loop here. Now you can paint around the outside first and then fill in the inside. Everybody has a different way of kind of filling certain shapes in. let's come up here. A little bit in here. I get that filled in. Yeah, touch up here, a little bit there, a little bit on the edge. Okay, that's pretty well touched up there. Now, we got the triangle here with the red. Now, let's see what we could do over. We'll start in here. We got red across here. I suppose we could put red in here somehow. You see how that works. You know, sometimes I bend over too much. Everybody at home gets a good look at the top of my head, but they can't see what I'm doing on the paper here. So I got to get my head back out of the way sometimes. Okay, fill that in. Okay, so now we got a triangle working there. Now, let's see where we can do. Let's see, we got one. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I'm just going to close it off in here. Yeah. So I don't have a big shape in there. Now, I can use my red, 1, 2, 3. Let's try this. See if this works. Okay, put some of that red up in here. Actually, if you water it down, you don't have to get the same shade of any color. You can be a real deep yellow, or you can get a deeper red, or you can water down the red so to make it more of a pink, if you so desire. Fill that in. Yeah, okay. We got a triangle there, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, let's see what we can do in here. We can get the triangle working a little bit. Well, okay. Let's fill this in here first. We can see what we're doing here. That seems to be working all right. Okay, get that filled in. Now, we got 1, 2, 3. Let's fill in this shape in here. Let's fill this in. So we got somewhat of a triangle working in here a bit. There you go. 1, 2, 3. We can work off of that one if we want. Now, is there any other area that I could deal with? It wouldn't hurt if I made one of these probably red. There's a little loop in there. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, whatever. We got 1, 2, 3, and then work off of that. I don't know if we can make some connections in here. That's a 1, 2, 3 there. Okay. Well, okay. I'm just going to see now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put this one, make this one red. A little shape in here red. Kind of fill that in. Okay, we got that. All right, now, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4. Okay, that's all right. See what else we can do here. Any more where I could put the red in? Not really right now. We'll make this red. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. Time to change, I guess. We'll go to blue. Now, we're still going to try to somehow, I should say, work the blue in. We'll put blue over here into this area. That's a watered down blue, so it's going to be a lighter shade of blue. Okay, in there, we got one in there. How about this one blue? Okay, so it looks like a little fish shape or a little comma coming around this way. Okay, 1, 2, let's see what else. We're gonna, well, we could put a blue in there. That gives us that 3. And we may want to move on now. Let's see, interesting. 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, maybe we'll go that route. Like I said, you never know how these things are gonna turn out. You try to think about how to distribute the color, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. You can number them. You can number it ahead of time. You can say, okay, yellow's 1, all the 1s, and then all the 2s, and then the 3s. You can kind of do that ahead of time. I'm kind of just winging it today, kind of bouncing around here. Okay, what did I say over here? Okay, we could fill this in. Okay, that's 1, 2, and then how about 3 here, huh? We'll fill this one in 3. Now, actually, in reality, I'm not thinking so much about what this thing's going to look like, but I'm just kind of trying to triangular move the color. You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now, this one here, this has a 1, 2, 3 here. Now, maybe I can do a 1, 2, 3 maybe here. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to fill this one in. You take chances with this thing when you're working. You know, you're going to finish up with one area that might be touching the same color somewhere. But worst comes to worst, you can fill it in, make it sort of a solid color of some sort of a neutral color. Let's see, we got, let's do this one. We got the 3 colors, might as well fill this one in. Here, you get your 3 yellow, red, and blue in there. Okay, now visually you can look at this and you can almost see where you probably need another distribution. I'm just going to make this blue in here. It's a kind of a large shape in here. Kind of just fill this one in. Fill this one in. Okay, come around this way. And I could probably cut that off there, but I'm just going to carry it away into here. Okay. Got this here. All right, now, 1, 2, 3. I think this could use the 3 colors in here, the yellow, blue, red. Now, I don't know if this makes much difference, but I'm just for the fun of it, I'm just going to keep turning it around a bit, and see what's happening here. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 areas. Now, if I try to use blue, it's going to be touching blue to blue in here. I don't know if I can isolate the blue here. Let's see where else. See where else I could put blue. I can get away with blue right there. Right now it's not touching anything. Fill that in. Right in there. Let's see where I could go. I guess probably in here, possibly. We'll fill that in. That's almost touching there, but we'll let that go for now. Now, let's see what we got. Let's see. Where else can I use blue? Right in there. Right on that edge. I could close that in. That's an awful big shape. Let me do that now. Just fill that in now to the edge. Fill that in. Okay. Now, we fill that in. I'll come down through here. Paint along the edge. Okay, now, a lot of this, by the time you get through, you know, if the color goes over the edge, if you don't like that, you can always touch it up, make that line. Once the paper dries, you can go over it with a darker marker and kind of clean up the edges a little bit. I'm still thinking about where to use blue again. How about up in here? Sort of like a little triangle in here. You can sort of close that in. Okay, put some in there. Okay, a little bit like that. I gotta try to find blue where it won't touch something else. I can see where I can use red again. Let's fill this in. A little bit on the pink side, but you can make that darker if you want. Just for the fun of it, maybe we could have this so it overlaps. Put some of this color in here too. make that pink in there. Okay, fill that in. Now we can use some of this pink. Let's put some pink in here. There we go. I have to water it down so it doesn't start getting too much red, not so much pink. Try to keep it pink if I can. And that goes up into here. Okay. I'm painting this a little bit in a hurry, but you can, if you want, you could slow down a little bit when you paint, or you can make it the dark a little bit darker, if you have to. Okay, let's keep this pink in here. Get some of that pink back in here. Now you can still think of it as maybe triangle if you want. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, type of thing. Okay. Let's finish this off here. Paint around in here. Okay. Let's put some of that pink up in here. I know it's next to the red and the blue, but I probably could use yellow in there. I could still paint over that if I so desire. That's too much here. Let's see. That's a big shape in here. My gosh. We'll fill this one in. A little darker pink. We'll finish this off. Okay, we move it around. See what needs to be done. Okay, how about some of that pink up in here? Oops, it's going to be next to that one, isn't it? We'll put it in for now. You may have to, there's a little bit too much pink around there. But, let's see, let's finish this off. Now, when you're starting to kind of run out of shapes, sometimes you can't always try to make things line up, triangular, thinking of that. So you may have to do something a little bit more drastic. See what we got here. Okay. Try something. I'm just going to go a little lighter yellow right in there. This almost looks like it's orange. That's another consideration that if you want to go to three colors, you can. Oh, 4 colors, rather. Let's see, yellow maybe? Yellow, yellow, yellow. How about right in here? Okay. Maybe some yellow. We're getting to a point now where we're running out of filling in some of these shapes. A little bit more than we were. Okay. I jump around here. Maybe yellow there. I think I had pink, but I went over it. Okay, here we go. Keep turning it around, move around. Now I don't think if I try to make something orange, I don't think that's going to work as well. You know, too much of the red, yellow, orange type of thing. So we'll have to think about that one. We can fill this in, I guess, with some yellow. More yellow there. Now, maybe get away with some yellow here. It's kind of yellow against yellow, so I want to make this probably lighter here. Take some of the yellow out, make it sort of a softer yellow. Contrast a little bit there. Now, a lot of time when you don't plan these things ahead of time, like number it, you could run into a problem. You know, you might end up with too much yellow here or there, or too much red, or whatever it might be. So, whatever. I know I'm kind of getting too much yellow. Something like that. This could be filled in. Just a little bit of yellow there. Keep turning it around. A little bit of yellow. Okay. It's kind of a big shape here, kind of awkward here. Looks a little bit too busy. I don't want to put yellow against yellow there. It's a little bit much. What we could do, maybe make that a deeper blue here, but then it's up against this blue, a lighter blue. See if I can get around that a little bit more. Fill that in more. It doesn't look that bad. Let's clean this up a little bit more here. Okay. Yeah. How about some blue out in here? We're getting down to almost filling everything in. So it's just a matter of what colors you want to use. Now, I think I'll go back with the pink a little bit more here. I'm thinking of leaving that area white. Leave that white. Let's see, maybe sort of a pink in here. Okay, around here. Almost looks like a face in there. That was coincidental. Okay. Now, we got to a point where we're probably pretty well finishing up here. And what I would do was let this kind of dry a bit and then take like a marker, probably my dark marker, and just go around and kind of clean up some of the shapes a little bit more. Just fill this in here. Okay. All right. Looks kind of funny leaving that just maybe too light there. All right. Now, in places it runs a little bit, and sometimes you can kind of take that out, blend it out a little bit more, where it might run over the edges if you don't want it to go too much over the edge. Okay, so you have a decision here. What you might want to do with this one, leaving it white. Normally you would consider some other area left white. At least maybe 3 places white. I'm just gonna, well, I think I'm just gonna make that a lighter yellow. Go around in here. Just quiet it down a little bit. Okay. Now, what we got here is a little bit of some runs here and there, the colors going over the edge. But what I would probably do now is let this dry out a bit and then come back over using one of my markers and go over some of the black edges, kind of clean it up a little bit more. I can't say that this is probably the most interesting clutter that we've ever made or done, and probably it would be something that's an exercise and not what to do, to see why certain parts of this kind of don't seem to pull together as well. You got a little bit of a tight area through here, and all of a sudden it loosens up. Maybe this needs to be reworked. This gets busier through here. So it's one of these things that you might want to have to kind of pre-work it out beforehand, what you wanted to do. You have to decide also which way you would hang it on the wall. Now, very quickly, I'm going to pull the tape. I've kind of put a somewhat of a mat around this, sort of an imaginary mat. And if I can get the tape started, I think we could clean up the edges a bit for you. Here we go. There we are. That may help, but not always till you come out with probably the most interesting design with the clutter, being what it is. Oh, this is a toughie, huh? There we go. Got one more piece of tape here. If I can get that. Just to give you an idea what we've got finished here. Okay. Well, like it might take a little bit of cleaning up. I can't say it's the best or most interesting clutter that you might, be working on. Sometimes you could just put color in there at random, and then work your marker, let it dry, work the marker into that background. But that's the idea. So if you're ever looking for an idea, just look at a little bit of a clutter and see what you can do with it. Make it into a kind of an interesting work of art. Okay? So that's it for this time. Turn it around, look at it from different angles. See what happens. Okay? So, how about this? I guess we're finished for the day, so brush it up and we'll see you next time.